Greetings, brother teacher here. Just wanted to weigh in on another police shooting of unfortunately two black individuals in the west side of Chicago on Sunday, which was yesterday. Today is the 28th of December 2015. So it was yesterday. And apparently, what happened was the police were called to answer a domestic disturbance call, and they showed up at a home where it was apparently a two-family house, two-level, and there was a gentleman, 19 years old, who was home on college vacation for the holidays and visiting his family, and he got into a disturbance, if you will, lack of a better word right now, with another family member. So he was 19 years old. Um, his name was LeGrier, last name. Um, Quintonio LeGrier, to be exact. And family member locked themselves in their room, and they called the police, and the police arrived. Allegedly, the young man had a baseball bat, and this is all sort of speculation on some of the witnesses' standpoint. But they heard some shouting, and then they heard the gunfire, and the police accidentally shoots another member that lived in the house, 55-year-old. Her name was Betty Jones. It's uncertain to me what relationship she had with LeGrier, but the point of the matter is that they accidentally shot another individual and killed them. So you not only have a 19-year-old that was murdered by the police, you also have a 55-year-old female murdered by the police who had absolutely nothing to do with any threat on either side. And so two dead bodies, two black individuals again in Chicago's west side. And what's really interesting is the fact that even though this is just a day ago, first of all, as they always do, part of their protocol is to put the policemen on administrative leave. They did not know, the police department, that is, as of me making this video to you, they did not know how many police officers were on site, and how many police officers fired their service weapons. They didn't know that at the time. And it stands to reason to me that if anyone gets killed, that should be the information that you should have immediately. How many police officers were there and how many police officers discharged their weapons. I mean, within a matter of several minutes, when the officer in charge, be it the sergeant or the lieutenant or whomever, even detectives, someone should have ascertained that information, how many officers fired their weapons, because you have two individuals laying on the ground dead. Anyway, it's sad, and as we typically do as a black community, we hold vigils and prayers, for the families that are left behind after someone gets killed by the police. It's unfortunate, and it's really unfortunate that this is the second incident in Chicago's history over the past year, out of many, of course, but the two that hit the news here recently. The one about the gentleman that was 17 years old, who was found brandishing a knife in the street. He did not present a threat to the police. Excuse me, this happened last year in October of 2014. And several police cars pulled up as the young man was walking through the street. He had the knife in his right hand, and the police jumped out of the car And from what I saw in the video, it was not 5 seconds, any longer than 5 seconds, before this young man was shot dead. The police officer fired his weapon 16 times, killing this 17-year-old black man. Wow. Go figure. What do you say? Now, it was understood after reading some information further about the young man that he had been in and out of foster care, and that his mother was not really active in his life, and that he supposedly was trying to rekindle or reconcile between his mother after several attempts, from what I understand. And the mother basically was paid off by the city. And this was held secret. It was covered up for over a year until some concerned person, white individual, delved a little bit deeper into the case, and then finally it became public knowledge. And this woman was paid $5 million in a settlement. You never saw her on television. You never saw her issuing any grievance towards the police department. She just basically took the money and went on about her business, because she never really loved the boy, the young man. Isn't that crazy? But not as crazy as the fact that so many black young men and women have been killed at the hand of the police departments, so-called sworn officers, so-called protectors of the society in which we live, or the community. What's going on? Sandra Bland was killed in police custody in Texas. You never heard anything else about it. What's going on with Sandra Bland? In custody, pulled over for a traffic violation. She's in Texas trying to pursue a job opportunity, gets pulled over. Police officer says that she tried to kick him, but she's in custody, and they say she hung herself with a garbage bag. Go figure again. Whatever happened to Freddie Gray? What happened in that case, since the police are so good to us that they arrest you for having what they deemed as being a switchblade? Turned out that it was a legal knife. It was a folding knife. They threw him in a police van, did not follow protocol, and it is said that he was mishandled and he was not secure inside the police van. But the man was in a coma for several days, and then he died eventually. And then after the coroner's report, it said that he had spinal injuries and other injuries. Some police officers abused that man, causing his death. And what about Walter Scott in South Carolina? Police pulled him over, made the statement that he tried to take his taser from him. The man was unarmed. He ran from the police officer, and this man was 50 years old. He ran from the police officer. Police officer steadied himself and fired 8 times, killing the man, shooting him in the back, and killed the man. He presented no threat. What is really going on? It's crazy. So what do we do? What do we do when we lose black people at the hand of the police, left and right, every month, and it's not warranted? Is this like open season on black people? I mean, what is really going on? Have you asked the question? Now, this question is not just simply for the black audience that's watching these videos, but it's for everyone. White, Latino, it doesn't matter. what's going on in our society, in our world, that black people are just free game. It's unfortunate. These departments that we say are supposed to protect and serve, who are they protecting? And who are they serving? You need to ask that question today. And I want to tell you something that I truly feel that's relevant is that if this doesn't stop, like right now, there's going to be civil unrest. I see the writing on the wall. It's going to happen. I remember I was thinking earlier today how human beings, irrespective of your color, race, creed, what have you, when a mother and father get together and they have a baby, you're in the delivery room and you see this beautiful, precious life come into the world. We're in awe at watching nature, watching God work. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing how we nurture this other human being and we raise them up and we teach them and we expose them to a lot of the beautiful things in life. We enjoy that other person. And in this particular instance, I'm talking about blacks. How do you think it feels to have that same individual that has grown up to be a teenager or a young adult or even a middle-aged adult be shot down in cold blood by a police officer, especially when they could have used another means to subdue that person? If anything at all was warranted. We had the 12-year-old boy in Columbus that was shot dead who had a play gun in his hand by a police officer. Police officer pulled up, got out the car, shot the boy dead. Didn't question him, nothing at all. Same thing with the young man in Walmart. He had a non-lethal weapon. He was shot in Walmart, shot dead. And it's crazy to me, especially to hear police departments saying that we're going to give our officers better training. That's asinine. How long have police departments been in existence? How much more training can you give a man on the other side of a gun, or a woman for that matter? How much more training can you give them? What about respecting human life? Did you give them that training? What about society? The community is not your enemy. Did you give them that training? Instead of this being gunfight at the OK Corral, or we're going to go out there today and we're going to get us some. No matter what. Forget about public scrutiny. Forget about federal investigations. We still going to shoot somebody dead today. And it's going to be okay because that blue shield thing, that brotherhood, we're going to try to cover it up. Unless it's just too far outside of our reach and our control, we'll let that one go. Let him be arrested and prosecuted for the sake of all of us. My question today again is, when will it stop? And if it doesn't stop, I hope you're ready for the ramifications of your actions. Not just in any particular city, any particular state, but in the United States as a whole. This is Brother Teacher. Let me know what your viewpoint is on this subject matter, irrespective of who you are. I thank those that are subscribers, and if you're not a subscriber, you can subscribe if you like, but I appreciate your comments in the comment section below. I love you, and Yahweh love you, and let's try to live together in peace and harmony as much as we possibly can.